This is my Persian style macaroni with potato tahdig. So we're going to start with 2 onions, slice and dice them. Obviously take the skins off. Don't know why I'm showing you this part, but here we go. Just in case you're not sure how to go ahead with this, because we listen and we don't judge. But you're going to see, I keep moving to the right here. I put the bowl on the wrong side. There we go. Finally moved it over. Speeding this up for you because you don't need to watch me dice every single onion, but you'll see that I actually half the onions again, but not all the way. You want to keep the end attached. Just makes it a little bit easier to dice and allows you to dice the onions a little bit more finely than just going into it. See, just like that. Beautiful. Once you have diced your onions, you're going to grab a pot, drizzle a little bit of olive oil. You don't want to add too much here because the meat that we're going to be using is a lamb. Lamb is quite fatty, so it does let out quite a bit of oil. Then you're just going to fry out your onions until they become a transparent vibe. Colour, it's not really a colour though, is it? Until they become transparent. You don't want them to get too golden here because they will continue to fry once you add the meat. I am adding garlic puree or paste, whatever you want to call it. Didn't have any garlic. To be very honest with you, I did not have anything for this dish, but Ali wanted macaroni, so obviously I had to make it. Usually you can add carrots and mushrooms, a little bit of vegetables, but yeah, this is going to be a plain one. I added about half a teaspoon of turmeric here. In Iranian food we use a lot of turmeric. Just add it to the onions. I literally add turmeric to everything now. It's a good anti-inflammatory. You don't want to add too much turmeric because it can give it a bitter taste, so half a teaspoon is plenty. Then I added my lamb. You can use beef for this. I just prefer to use lamb. I find it a tastier meat than beef, but that is preference. You want to brown the lamb until it looks like this. The juices will start flowing. I use a tomato puree in a jar here from Yekoyek, Iranian brand. You can use the tube ones, really doesn't make a difference. About 2 tablespoons worth of that, and you really want to mix it in because you need to fry that out. You don't want no raw tomato puree. So once it starts frying out, you'll see that it begins to change colour and the oil will start separating from the meat. That's when you know that your puree is cooked. I give it another little stir here. You'll see that I love stirring my food because I get paranoid that it's sticking to the bottom of the pan. I'm adding a bit of white pepper here. This is my new discovery, white pepper. It's a little bit spicier than black pepper. Then I add some chili. I keep adding chili. Ali likes his food chili. And I'm still going. Chili is a preference. You do not have to add chili. I'm adding some paprika. Love paprika. Then just want to mix it all up. Mix, 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 mix. But not gonna lie, if you don't like chili, grow up. It's good for you. Then I'm going in with some passata. Doesn't have to be Heinz. This is a jar version. I'm using about half a jar. I also have the carton version. This was just on offer. You can buy Sainsbury's Own, Lidl's Own, whatever. You can also use tin tomatoes. I prefer using passata. It just gives it a bit of a thicker consistency. And you just want to cook that out. I end up adding just a little bit more to get it to the consistency that I like. After that has combined all together, you will need to add a little bit of water, about half a cup of water, and I usually turn down the heat at this point because it can start splattering because it's quite a thick sauce. This part is optional, some mixed herbs. It's not very Persian, the vibe with the mixed herbs, gone a bit Italian here, but it is what it is. You can call this fusion macaroni. Gone in there with a bit more chili. Go on, son. Whoa. Gone in. Too much chili. But you know what? It wasn't even that spicy. This chili powder was a bit of a dud. I added another half cup of water just to make sure that it's a slightly runnier consistency, because we're going to end up putting the lid on to make sure that everything is cooked together and the meat is fully cooked as well. Add salt to whatever your salt level is. Just remember that tomato puree and the passata can tend to have a bit of salt already in there, so don't over salt your food. Then we're going to go on and cook the pasta. This freaking bag was not opening, but there we go. I don't know how much pasta to tell you to add, guys. Just eyeball it. I always cook extra, and whatever I don't eat, I make a tuna salad the next day. So get that boiling. Salt your water generously, because we will need to use some of that water. Make sure you keep an eye on the sauce, as it will be simmering and you don't want the bottom to burn. Now we're back to the chopping board. I add some potato at the bottom of my macaroni. This is called tahdig. I slice them quite thin, but not too thin, because if they're too thin they start to burn, and you don't want no burnt tahdig. Once your pasta is almost cooked, you want it al dente, guys, al dente. Add a bit of the water, just a ladle. Once you drain it, add it to your sauce, mix it all together, and wash or just rinse the other pot, dry it off, because we're going to add some oil in here just to begin frying that potato, and you don't want it splattering on you. Add a generous amount of oil to the bottom of the pan, then get those potatoes down in a circular formation just to cover the base of the pot. Be careful because the oil is out. Once you're putting these down, I like to move them around a little bit because they can tend to stick straight away. I think it's because of the starch. Look, whoop, it's not moving. There we go. And you just want to get that oil flowing underneath the potato. FYI, this middle one cooks super fast, so you can even leave that out and then add it afterwards, because look, you're going to see that one's nice and golden brown, texture like sun, and then the rest of them are, you know, a little bit on the pale side. Just flip them over. As soon as you flip them over, I was struggling here. Once that's all done, make a nice formation with it. Then you're going to add your combination of macaroni. You want to keep this on a medium to high heat, just so you can create the tahdig at the bottom for it to become a bit crispy. Now, I don't make mine super crispy, so you will not see me flip this over like a cake, but it still comes out looking beautiful. Look at that. Enjoy!